Hello to my friends at Kouts Middle School and High School. This is Matt Miller. I'm the author of Ditch That Textbook, and hopefully by now you have your copy, your very own copy of Ditch That Textbook. So excited that Tom was able to get those for you and that you're going to get an opportunity to read them. So Tom asked me to do a sort of a quick introduction. I wrote Ditch That Textbook after having ditched my own textbooks in my own classroom about 6 years ago. And I just sort of realized that as a high school Spanish teacher, I was finding that the textbook was almost like a stumbling block to what I really wanted to do in class. I'd been teaching for a few years, and I realized that as a Spanish teacher that my students couldn't speak Spanish. And that's sort of a problem for a Spanish teacher. And so that's when I started going more and more without my textbooks until eventually one day we just eventually stuck them in the cabinet and quit using them. And so my journey through all of that has taught me some lessons. I've learned from a lot of smart people, and I've gathered lots of resources. And so I wanted to put as much of that useful information that I wish that I had way back when I was learning how to teach into this book so that you all have it. And so the book kind of covers 4 different areas. The first part is why go digital. And so if you're already sort of going more digital, then this is like ammunition and fuel for your fire. And if not, maybe it'll give you some ideas and some things to think about. It also talks about ditch that mindset. I really think that education is undergoing some big changes, and technology is allowing us to do things that we haven't done before, haven't been able to do before. And so I think we have to kind of think about education differently than we have. And so these are some mindsets that I hope will help. And then there's also a section just called Ditch That Textbook that gives you some practical ideas and some things to think about as far as going maybe more paperless in your classroom or kind of thinking outside of the box. And then there's also a section in there called Ditch That Curriculum, where it kind of gives you the opportunity to really own your curriculum and make it what you want it to be. And so those are the 4 sections, and so my hope is that you will read this book, that maybe you will find some ideas in it, or it'll make you think about some things that you haven't thought about before that you might be able to take with you into this school year. And so I'm so excited that you guys are going to be reading it. You have access to me if you want to. So if you're on Twitter, feel free to reach out to me at jmattmiller. That's the letter J, and then Matt with 2 T's and Miller. So feel free to reach out to me on Twitter. I'd love to hear from you. My email address, matt@ditchthattextbook.com. Feel free to email me. I love being part of the conversation. Love to hear what you think about the book, and if you have any questions or anything that comes to mind, I'd love to connect with you. So again, I'm so excited that you guys are all going to be reading the book, and look forward to hearing some of the stories out of it and hearing what you think.